Hey everybody, so it's Brittany again, and tonight we're going to be talking about growing your network and your interaction on social media. So this is something that is so crucial for your business because this really is the answer to signing more customers, signing distributors, and just building a successful business where people are showing you that they care about you, they care about what you have to offer, and just like feeling that sense of I know what I'm doing stems all back to this right here. So I have some awesome notes that I'm going to be going over. So if you do not have a pen and paper out, make sure you have it out. So we have a ton of questions in here, all the way from how do you have conversations with people? How do you take the conversation about them to introducing your business or products? How can I keep conversations going? How can I message people for the first time? Just all of these questions that we're going to be going over tonight. So this is going to help you so much. And you guys, I wouldn't be sharing this stuff unless I knew that it really works. And sometimes the biggest problem I see with this business is people sign up and right away they have to hop into, I need customers, I need distributors, which should be your mindset, of course, since day one. But with that being said, you can't sign up people that don't know, like, and trust you. So for you to say, hey, I'm going to be successful from day one, and you don't really have a lot of family and friends like I did, and I want to see in the chat, do you have a lot of family and friends right now that are helping you? The problem is that we assume that because we have no family and friends that we can't be successful in this business. But what I had to do was I knew a smart business owner knows that you can't just sell to your family and friends. Otherwise, you're going to run out of business. You're going to run out of making money. You're not even gonna make money. You're gonna like make 20 bucks on your first paycheck because you signed up your first couple customers, your mom, your cousin, your aunt, and then now what? And this is the biggest problem that I see with new people is they go and they talk to everybody and they sign up all these people and they feel like they're on fire right away, and maybe you can get to Ruby in your first like 30, 60 days, and then you keep doing the same things with the same people, and then it's not moving anymore. And then you start thinking, oh, it's the business, or, oh, I have so much going on in my life, and you start doubting yourself, which is not the case. The problem is that you're not bringing in new. It's the same people coming in and out of your store circulating all the time. So if you are going to be a leader or you are a leader, this is something you're going to have to teach your team. So it may be stuff you already know, but maybe that's the key that you're missing is teaching your people how to network. So send them this video, implement this into your teaching system so that way your team is never running out of new people to enroll. So it's really sad to see people just sign up and do so well, and then they stop because they lack motivation, because they stopped seeing results, because maybe they didn't even know that they had to grow a network. Like nobody knows what that is. In the beginning I signed up and I had actually not a lot of friends or family, and barely any of them became customers except for my aunt and my mom. And that's when I knew, like, okay, I need to go out and find people. So I just added everybody and anyone. I added people that I'm looking back at now and I'm like, I'm deleting you. I should have deleted you 2 years ago. So these tips I'm going to share with you are really going to help you so that way you can build a solid network from the beginning, and it'd be people in your network that are going to be there for a lifetime. Plus just good quality people, because I can't tell you how many times I had to delete people that I wish I didn't add in the beginning because it was just wasted space. They weren't my kind of people. And this is where intention and being picky and knowing what you need and knowing your target market is so, so, so important. So yes, I didn't have any family or friends. I actually created, when I was living in Myrtle Beach, I actually created the Young Moms of Myrtle Beach. I actually created a group, and because of this business, because I didn't even know what networking is. I just knew, hey, I don't know anybody. I got to go know somebody. I got to go know people. So I did that. And that's what I started to do, is just adding people in my area, and I pinpointed their exact location on where they are. And that's what I'm going to go over tonight, is how to find people in the exact location that you want. And that's going to help you build a business and branching out in different areas, especially like how we're about to launch in the Philippines and Mexico. So I'm now starting to message people in those countries, telling them about a groundbreaking opportunity that they can have their hands on. And that's what you have the power of doing, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. So I just started adding everyone in my area, and that's how I started getting customers that I have never known before. And that's what you have to do, is get to a point in your business when you're like, hi, I'm Brittany. I can add anybody on social media, no matter who they are, build a relationship, and I can either turn you into a customer, a fan, or a distributor. that's where you need to be in your business. And if you're not there, your team's not going to get there. And that's why you guys aren't moving. Okay. So before we start, you need to understand that your target market and everybody on your Facebook and who you're going to add. Can you guys still hear me okay? I put a book right here. So I just want to make sure that I'm like not blocking anything. Okay, cool. So you would need to acknowledge that your target market and your market in general is not going to always be interested. And when you know that from the beginning, you're going to be more focused. You're not going to be as distracted or get as upset when you do get no's. And this is kind of what I talked on my video about yesterday in the team page, was you have to go in expecting not everyone's going to be interested, expecting that every distributor you signed may not stay. And when you have that, you're so focused on, oh, well, oh, what, who cares, who's next? So that pertains to customers, that pertains to people in your business, and also your network. So, you just can't expect everyone to be interested. You can't expect to have people get the vision right away when they've only been following you a week or a month or whatever. It takes time. And so for me, my first customer, one of my first four to five customers was Nicole Kennedy, who, I added. And who would have known that 2 years after her watching me and being a customer and losing weight on these products, that she became my distributor. So that just is the power of what you're about to start doing after you learn everything from here, is when you start adding somebody, the power of what that person can do in 2 years from now is incredible. It could change your whole business like she has. Like, I never thought that somebody like that would be going, triple diamond. And they were just one of the first people that I added when I started. So that should give you hope that this process works, and that, it's going to continue working, whether they instantaneously want to sign up now or later. It doesn't matter, because you need business now and you need business later. So how do we grow our network, and what is it? Your network, when you sign up, are the people that actually know you. They know your name. You've talked to them. If you saw them in public, you'd say, hey, how are you? And they know who the heck you are. You need a lot of that to be successful in this business. That is how you're going to have more likes, more comments, more views, more business, and more, not necessarily just always business, but more friends. And the friends that you have on social media are the ones that will refer you, the ones that will always be loyal and like your stuff. And, sometimes my relationships are just strictly relationships, even though I know they're not interested in what I do. And that helps me in so many other ways that only you will understand when it happens to you. But your network is basically got to be people that know you, that's it. And your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room, based on what you post, what you're showing up as, what and who you present yourself online to be. So that's why it's important to start acting like the rank you're going after before you're even there, because that's what people are watching. They're watching you blossom. So you got to gradually force yourself into a disposition before you're in the position showing up as that. Okay, is this hitting you guys? Like, is this making sense? So growing your network, that's your network, is growing people that know you. So just adding them is a part of growing your network, but it's not actually growing a substantial quality network. What is going to grow a substantial quality network is when you build a relationship. And this is where a lot of people are like, where do I start? What do I do? How do I say things? And that's what I'm going to go over, is like, but first let me go over what we do to grow our network. So we're adding, we're commenting, we're liking, we're messaging and interacting. And that's literally it. You're going to find that people are going to start tagging you and stuff. People are going to just like your stuff always, no matter what. And this is so important in the beginning, that you as a leader and a distributor start teaching your team this, that your network in the beginning are the people that you should be reaching out to first. When we get you to join this business, we have you make a hundreds list. And if you didn't, you didn't follow the units, so go back and redo that. But your units has the hundreds list. It tells you, like, if you were to get 100 people to your wedding right now, whose names would be on there. It could be your next door neighbor that you haven't talked to in 2 months. It could be a friend from high school that you still interact with online, like just people that you know. That is your first network. And then from the beginning, I have always done this, and a lot of leaders say, does it really work? Is it really something you do every month? Yes, I make a new hundreds list every single month. And that is how and what I did in the beginning to build such a huge network full of people that I've never met before that knew me. I had people knowing me more than I knew them because I was just working with so many people. So if you've been in this business 12 months and you made a new hundreds list every month, you would literally have 1,200 people that actually knew you and gave a damn about you because of what you did every single month. And this is where consistency comes into play, you guys. You literally have to do something every day. And if not every day, every week. What I did was each and every month, that's what I did. I would make, because I was adding people daily. I was writing down the people that stuck out to me. I was writing down the people that actually were quality people that I'm like, that could be my best friend. That could be somebody that I hang out with. That is my kind of girl. And those are the only people that I focus. And I would examine their pages beforehand, and I would make sure that they're the kind of person, the kind of pictures, the kind of attitude. And really it came down to, I wanted people that looked happy. I wanted people that looked like good quality people. You got to think like a manager. Who do you want representing your store? Well, who you add is who's going to be representing like your network, which turns into customers and distributors, which dictates if people are always poor 24/7 and they always say they're going to join and they never do. You know what I mean? It's hard to post about success and positive things when you have an audience watching you that's just negative and doing drugs, or maybe sketchy people, or that work like minimum wage jobs and they're 35 years old. Like, you don't want those kind of people in your path because that's not who you're broadcasting to. So really focus on who you're adding. Okay, that's really important. So add with a purpose, and find friends that are similar to what you are posting. So I really take a look at who I'm posting or who I'm adding, and then as they accept my friend requests, once every couple days, I'll go to my friends list. If you go to your profile and you go to friends, you have to do it in that order. Then you can see the most recent people that have added you. And that's what I do, is I'll go through that list at the end of the day, because you get so many notifications, you can't go back and look there. That's the way that you can find everybody. And I go through each person, and I have a new piece of paper, or I have it on my iPad now, and I'll write down 1 through 100. When I have those slots there, I know I need to fill those names, and it continues to grow. And I'll go through as I'm adding people each week, and I'll make that list. So my list for May is almost done. I'm at like 84 right now. So my list for May is at 84. So that way, May 1st, I can start this process. And what I do is I go down my new hundreds list. So like when you're new, it's the people you know. But as you're signing those 4 LCs with the people you know, you're growing your friends list right away. Right away, you're adding these people. Right away, you should be teaching your team, add these people. So that way they're making a list that they can work with the next month. And you may think, oh my God, those 100 people, they aren't all going to sign up. Well, you know what? You're planting seeds. And this is so important. And this is where you really have to understand the work, get small pay, work, get small pay, until you're at a point where you're like working, pay, working, pay, and you're making so much money because of all the work you put in the beginning. See, I'm not making this kind of money right now because of what I did last month. It's because of what I did when I was where you were, thinking, is this really going to pay off? Well, I trusted it, you guys. So that's what I do. And then now, May 1st, I have a list of quality people that I've added over the last week. And sometimes it takes massive action. If you're not somebody that can do like a daily thing, sometimes I have to do just a day of adding, just a day of commenting, just a day of follow-ups. That's okay. But you just have to do a massive action of following and adding to have this in your hands. And then now you have 100 new people. So today May 1st, I'm going to go 1 through 20, and I'm going to go like a few things, and I'm going to comment on one thing. Right away, they're going to go look at my page. And right as soon as they accept my friend request, I do like their things. If I can catch that, I do like their things. I don't comment right away because I feel like that's almost kind of weird, but I do like their things. So that way they know, hey, I'm interacting with them. Some leaders even send a message and they say, hey girl, thanks for adding me. I think I don't do that personally all the time. It just depends. If I see something that I can talk to them about right away, I'll act on the spot. But there's no right or wrong. I just feel like normal everyday people wouldn't do that. So I'm not trying to be any different than Brittany. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be this salesperson. You don't have to do it all in one day. It's about having a checklist that you can manage daily and being consistent with it. And like I said, if you can just do like, hey, I'm following today. Hey, I'm adding tomorrow. Like that's totally fine too. You can definitely do that. It's just about being consistent with what you're doing every day. That's what's really important. So adding, liking, commenting, messaging, and interaction. So add with a purpose and find friends that like a similar content to what you were posting. I feel like I already read that. But like my point is like 1 through 20, I'm going to go like and comment. And then the next day I'm going to do 20 through 40. The next day I'm going to do 40 through 60. And then what do you know? A couple days I'm back at 1. And now I'm being consistent with interacting with these people. So it's important to make sure that you're adding people that are active on social media, because then it gives you more stuff to comment on, and it gives you more of a person that is on social media. Like, do you ever talk to those people and they're like, I'm not on social media a lot, I don't know if I can do this. And it's like, I want somebody that's on a lot, because it's going to make it easier and make it more of like, you can do this for them. Okay. So pay attention to really who you're adding. Like, you don't just want to mass add people. That's like the worst thing that you could do. So you can't have broke negative people and try to persuade them with your positivity posting. I kind of talked about that. So once again, just be cautious. And one thing that I want to tell you guys is you really need to find 3 things about yourself that don't have to do with it work. So I feel like sometimes we're so dedicated to our business that we start to almost feel like we are the business. And that's when we start taking everything so personally, and we start thinking what's wrong with us. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is write 3 things in the chat that you enjoy doing besides it works. And those are the things that you should be posting about, the things that you should be like branding yourself with, because it's who you are. And obviously we know like that's how we're going to build our network and actually have more interaction and stuff, is because of we are who we are, and we're not just a business. So people are going to know us for us, and because of what we have, then they're going to be interested. So cooking, working out, and shopping. Working out, cooking, family, singing, makeup, and traveling. Okay, you guys, are we posting about these things enough? A way that you can make good quality posts is find people who are interested in those things, and in that way you have something to relate about. That's what's going to be that's what attraction marketing is getting people to want to follow you because you have similar interests, and because you're talking about those things in a way that is going to give them content, new content. So maybe it's a story about your day about that specific thing about cooking, or maybe it's teaching somebody about cooking. So that's really important that you really focus in on, okay, am I just pushing the business, trying to promote? That's why you're not promoting, is because you're pushing it so much and people just know you for the business. So it's important to be known for these things, because that's what makes up you. And that comes into such a huge play when it comes to networking, is because people don't want to follow someone that just sells a business. They don't care. Like, they want to learn something else from you. Just like, I hate to use the Kardashians for this, but like people love following them because the Kardashians show them things that those specific people are interested in, and then they have the lip gloss, and then they have whatever the heck else they have. You know, that's important, is that we buy into them, and that's why we're buying from them. Okay, so use those things as an advantage. I want to talk about pinpointing location, and how I have a large team in California now, and how I'm starting to actually branch out now in states that I once was pinpointing last month. So oops, hold on, is someone unmuted? Okay, I had to mute them. So I want you guys all to go to the US map right now. And this is something that I do every month, because I personally don't like adding in my area, because I don't want to run into someone at the grocery store and have to talk to them when I'm like out doing my business and come home. Because if I had a large following here, it'd be crazy. It's a small town, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I like to branch out in different locations. So whenever I was on Facebook, I was like, okay, well, I want to branch out in California. So what I did, and this, I'm just going to show you this on Instagram, because on Facebook, it's kind of the same. If you go to your search engine on Instagram, I'm going to go to places. So you can see it's at the top right here. You just click on places, and a lot of the times you don't even know it's there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in like California play, and that should bring up a playground. So there's so many different playgrounds right here that I can now click on, and there's nothing but a ton of photos of different moms and people on the playground. So now this is how I actually add people, is I'll go to a random location like this, and I will scroll through the photos and I'll find one person that I'm like, hey, that person looks like my kind of person. I'll click on them. And guess what? People are friends with people like them. So I'll have to do that couple times before I get enough people accepting me that I can now tap into their friends list. So Instagram, I'll go back to, once I do that, like sometimes I'll even do it 10 times. I'll follow 10 new people that way. And as I add people and follow, I'll like their stuff on Instagram. So that way they go look at my page, they pay attention to that follow. I'm doing a little bit more than just following them. I did that on Instagram. So you go to search, you go to places, and you just type in something. It could even be the supermarket down the road from you, and that's how you can branch out in your hometown if you want to. But that's really important. And then what I do is, as I'm following them, I'm liking their stuff, and I'm now following the people that are liking their photos. So now I'm what I call digging, and I get away from the hashtags. Don't search anything on hashtag, because that's why you're running into people who are selling things. You're running into people who do a business already, or are just bloggers and have like 20,000 followers and they're following 500. That's pointless. You know what I mean? They only, I feel like, pay attention to people that are like them and blogging on their level, So you want to find people that are just everyday people that have a pretty good following. You know what I mean? So that's my advice, is to follow through places instead of hashtags. And then when you get to their profile, follow everyone who's liking their stuff, and then follow their followers and keep going. And then after a while, you'll notice, like, I just signed a distributor in Montana, and I was like, oh my God, that was my month. That was my state 2 months ago. Like, that was where I was going, and it's working. So I think that's just really cool. And that's how you guys can branch out in the Philippines, in Mexico, and all the other future countries that we're going to be branching out on. So does that make sense? Does that help you with like how I'm adding people? With Instagram, it's a little different. Like, I'm following people. I can't really see their profile all the time, but with Facebook, I'm being a little more picky. Facebook, you can go there and you can also do the same thing. So if you click search, I'll just search a name. I'll search Sarah. And then because I search Sarah, now I can go and scroll at the top right here, and I can go to places, and then I can type in Savannah, or I can type in Charlotte, or whatever. Now, someone said I get a lot of, do I know you? I usually say, no, you don't know me, but I saw we had a lot of things in common, so I just sent you a friend request. Hope that's okay. Your photos are so cute. That's it. I don't get that, because I've established myself on social media that people know. When you go to my page, you can tell I do something and I'm successful at it and I'm friendly. So I never get that anymore, ever, because I hold myself a certain way on my social media, and I look professional. I look like I got it together. So people aren't just like, who are you? Because they almost know, in a sense, that I'm selling something, but what is it? And the people that are curious will accept it. So it's not just like, I'm Brittany and I'm sending you a friend request. Well, of course you're going to be like, who are you? So if you're getting that a lot, I would look at your page and be like, how can I improve it? And this is where walking into and acting like you're already a diamond and like you got it together, and knowing you're learning and you're growing and you're going to get there, that confidence is what needs to shine off of your social media. And that's what people are going to want to follow you for. Okay. So that's really, really important. I'm glad that helped. So, okay. Next, add from Facebook groups. That's really, really important, is you have to be intentional with what groups you're joining. So you can join, if you're not in a local mom group for your town, you're screwing up. Like, go add that right now. Go in there right now and start asking mom questions. Start replying back to comments. Start liking stuff. Start answering people's questions. Start reacting to people's comments. Like, this is so important, you guys, that you're in groups for those 3 things that you just sent me. You need to be in like 3 cooking groups, or maybe just one major mass cooking group, or one major mass singing group, or be creative. Find these groups that you should be in, and don't just go in and add everybody. Go in and interact with people. And as you're interacting with them and you're replying back and forth in the comments, send them a friend request. that's when they're going to accept you, because they see your stuff on public, they see what you're posting, and it's stuff that they're interested in. That's how you get people to be interested in what you're doing and follow you. And that's attraction marketing, is posting relatable things. Okay, so that's really important. So let's focus on, how do we build genuine relationships? We're not here to ask you how your doctor's visit went. We're not here to ask you how did you enjoy your honeymoon? It looked so great. Give me all the detail. Like, I mean, like, we don't need to know every little thing. We don't need to ask them, hey, how's your day going? How's Billy after the accident? Like, tell me all about, like, consistently. Okay. The point is that we're just here to let people know, like, hey, I like you. I think we'd be awesome friends. And I love following your stuff. So what I like to do is I start with liking, and then I start with commenting, and then I focus on who's liking my stuff. If you're liking my stuff and we've never talked before, then I will go and make sure that I send you a message. The key is getting it off of commenting, getting it off of just liking, and taking it into that next level of messaging, because I don't know who the hell anyone is. I accept that, but they are going to remember me. They're going to remember me. And think about it, before you join this business, like, every little message you got from someone that, like, maybe you haven't talked to in 2 years, or that you didn't know, or maybe some creepy guy tried to hit on you or whatever, you remember that name distinctly. You remember their profile picture. You remember that moment when someone messaged you, right? And, like, people just don't message like we do. We're taught, hey, send 10, 20 messages a day. Go for host to post. Da-da-da. At the end of the day, you don't even know these people's names. That's okay. You're growing a business, but they're going to remember you. So when you take it to that next level and you send a message instead of commenting, because you've already commented so much, it's like they're going to remember you. And sometimes I'll just go ahead and, like, I'll make sure I like people's stuff before I message. And I'm always like, hey girl, I was going to comment, but I thought I would message you instead. That is key for me. Instead of saying, like, thinking of some long thing that I can tell them and, like, tell them how I love following them, I'm responding to their comments. I'm responding to their statuses, or maybe a vacation they did. The point is that I just have to get in their inbox somehow. And I try to do that with as many people as I can a day. And the key is new people. And anytime it is somebody that you've messaged before, then message them again. That's awesome. But if you're doing this with new people daily, that's when people are going to start paying attention to your page. So make sure that you're interacting right away with people, and make sure that if you haven't messaged them, you find a way to message them. And it's just with being intentional, going to their page, specifically looking for something that you can message them about, or ask them about what they did, or compliment them, or just anything. Like, I have messaged people before and just told them that I used the recipe they posted and I thought it was amazing. Or I just messaged someone and I asked them, where the heck do you shop? Because I can't find shoes like you do and they look so cute. Like, you just have to be genuine. You have to be you. And I talk to them like I've known them my whole life. And you'll get people that don't respond back. But you know what? They went and looked at my page. They know who I am now. And I know you guys don't understand this yet, but you will see down the road, people that you message that didn't write back are actually going to eventually ask you about the business, but they wouldn't have unless you did this right here. Okay. So it's really important. And what I like to do is, the people that I am focused on and maybe don't have enough room on my hundreds list for the month, like, I like to stick with my 100 and stay there. Lately, I've tried adding more, but I like to focus on that 100 every single month. Other people, I'll go ahead and save them in a folder. Maybe that's something that works for you. And with Instagram, if you go to someone's profile and you go to their picture, you can save their photo and create an album. So I have an album full of top earners in the business that I look up to, and I'll click on their picture in my saved album, and then I'll go to their page. Or then there's bloggers, specifically in Charlotte, that I follow that I have saved. So you can create those folders and have it be like your top 20 people that you are dying to have on your team, like your chicken list or something like that, and save those people's photos. So that way you always know to go back there and interact. Like, those are your, like, I need them on my team. And maybe you need them on your list longer than just a month. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. Let me check the time. What time is it? 9:30. Is I'll focus in on who I want, and I'm being intentional. And you guys, we are recruiting. We literally, like, I know a lot of people hate that word, but we're here for business. So we not only have to learn how to talk to people, but also how to turn it into a point where you're like, hey, I think you'd be awesome with what I do, or hey, would you want to try these products? So that's what we're going to talk about next, is basically how to message and kind of transition into that. So with messaging, if you haven't interacted with them, don't try to push the business. Don't try to get them to buy your products and just cold message them. The point is yes, we want to make sure we're sending out messages every day and new messages. But if you feel like you run out of people to message, you have to take a step back and take a break from that for like a week and focus on growing your network. So a new thing that you can do is, as you add people, send them a message replying to their story the next day. And that's the best thing, is like, as you add people, once you like and comment and you interact as you're accepting on Instagram, usually they go look at your story. And, you know, once they view your story once, it's showing up in the bubbles across the top a little closer to the first. So if those of you follow specific people and you're like waiting for them to post and you click on them first, you notice the more that you watch their stuff, the more they're right there. The less that you watch your stuff, the more they disappear. So that is truly because of how Instagram sees you guys connecting. How do they see you interacting? And once they see you interacting, that's when it's like, oh, they know each other, I must show her higher up. And that's the goal. That's the goal, is for them to click on your stories. And that's what I do, is I look at my stories and I see who's watching me, and that's who I message. And if you're trying to get a lot of people to host a post, sure, ask people to host a post. Maybe message them something else first. And if you are at a point where you're like, well, Brittany, I really want to grow my network, but I also need customers right now, what do I do? Then host a post with the people you know, and then host a post with the loyal customers that sign up, and then host a post with the potentials. And you're never going to run out right there. But don't kill your network that's supposed to grow because you're so ready to shove the products and the business down their throats that they don't want to get to know you now, because that's all they feel like you're trying to approach them as. It's about building friendships, not building business right off the bat. Now, your friendships, because you're showing people how much you care about them, they're going to start sharing, or they're going to start showing you how much they care about you. So this is important. I wrote it down somewhere. Hold on. So it's like jab, jab, right hook. That's what Gary Vaynerchuk says. In other words, 2 posts for you, and then 2 posts for your audience, 1 post for you. So you need to emotionally invest in your audience for them to care about what you have. So give before you can take. How important is that right there? Give before you can take. Sometimes we expect to throw up a post, or we expect to message people, and because we told them all the amazing things about our product, we expect them to buy, when even though they could be dying for this business, dying for these products, they don't want it. So therefore you think it's the business that's the problem, and you blame the products not working, when really you didn't take the freaking effort to get to know somebody new before doing it. And guess what? You just went ahead and planted a seed for somebody else that took the time before you to get to know them. So they're going to side with the other person because they like them better. They don't feel pushed. It's like that person in the mall that's coming up to you and they're like, hey, try my perfume. That's annoying. But what if someone came up to you and had a conversation with you and they were just so friendly and you walked away feeling like that person was cool? And then they say, by the way, here's my business. Here's a coupon that's for a perfume. You have to try it. It's amazing. And then you're going to be interested in smelling it, right? I can't stand when people try to walk up to me at the mall. And that's what people are doing online, and they don't realize it. And that's why their business isn't working. That's why you have 5 likes on your photo, is because you're not letting people care. You're not giving people a chance to care because you're wanting to take everything before you give. Is this resonating with you guys? Like what I'm saying? Okay, yes. So make sure that you do that extra effort, even though you want volume now, you want success now, but everyone's pushing and pushing and pushing for these promotions and not getting anywhere because you didn't put in the work. And the work isn't messaging. The work is getting to know people. And when you do it right and you follow other leaders that are in your shoes and you're really seeing how they're posting, you're really seeing, and let me tell you guys, there's a lot of ambassadors that are horrible at posting. There's some people you shouldn't follow, okay? What they did worked like 3 years ago. It's not working now. Social media is changing. They're picking up on these things and they're really paying attention to relationships now. They're cutting back on so much of the salesy stuff and so much of the stuff that used to work. Did you know that Facebook didn't have anything but a chronological order like 4 or 5 years ago? So you could post like one of the other leaders, they used to say post 6 times a day because that's what worked. Is because the more you showed up in people's timelines, the more that people saw it, the more that people buy. Well, it's not like that anymore. Quality over quantity, you guys. Make sure that you're taking that time to do the extra posts, the extra messaging, the extra relationship building. And that's what we mean by putting that work and not expecting it right away, but also knowing, hey, I got to work on that. And then I need to harvest all the seeds that I did last month. I need to go back to everyone that I built a relationship with last month and now ask them about the business. Now ask them about the products. Or pay attention to who's liking your photos, who's commenting, who's viewing your stuff that you've already done that with. And that's when you can say, hey girl, I know you've been viewing my stories lately about my products. I know we talked last week, but I wanted to offer this spot to you before I go to anyone else since you're really cool and I just love your vibes. Do you want this discount? Like that's a message, okay? Not a, hey girl, I was wondering if you'd like to be a product tester for my business, da, 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 da. And then you're like, why is this not working? It works, sucks. I'm going to go to a different company or da, da, da. No, it's not that. It's just like you're not learning it the right way. And that's what I want to like cut right across the line right here. So that way you can jump into a new state and you're like, I know what I'm doing now. And trust the process. Like this is just what I had to do, you guys. And I went and took my friends list from 1,000 to 5,000 in under a year. And you know, it may not have been the best people in the beginning, but I'm learning as a leader. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys is even if you can't get to 5,000 right away, I think you should rather have 1,000 new people that are quality people that really you have a relationship with. And if you just did 100 new people a month, you would have that 1,200 at the end of the year. That's 1,200 new friends. And if you are really truly to get your steps of success out every single month and fill that up, steps of success, 3DTs, that's $300 in fast starts and 4 new LCs minimum, okay? It should be 5 LCs a week. And if you're not signing that, you got to step it up, okay? But literally, like if you want to fill out your hundreds list or your steps of success, the hundreds list out of 100 people, you can find those 7. Those 3DTs, those 4 LCs. If you would have just started this hundreds list and done these things more, you would be signing a distributor a week. Now, not just saying, hey, build relationships with everybody and you're going to sign people. No, but that's important. And that's the main hub of your whole organization are those people. And then you're getting more likes on your stuff because of how your posts are. My posts aren't screaming, it works, it works, it works. I'm leaving curiosity for people. So it's about using your Facebook posts to create more engagement in your brand overall. I'm gonna repeat that. It's about using your Facebook posts, your Instagram posts, your stories, your lives to create more engagement in your brand overall. And you are not, it works, okay? So you're like, okay, I'm doing all this, how am I gonna sign people? You do this, and because your posts are leaving people on the edge, wanting to know more, and you're creating curiosity, that is going to get people liking your stuff. That's going to get people in your inbox. People are more likely to like a post about how amazing you feel in your brand new swimsuit that didn't fit last month versus how amazing your products are. So that is how you're still going to be creating your brand and making amazing posts and getting engagement, is looking at the other side of, okay, why are your products are amazing? Okay, why is your business amazing? Why should people join you? Well, the products are amazing because I'm in a new swimsuit. The business is amazing because I just paid off debt or I'm going to pay off debt, okay? And, that's the only way you're going to pay off debt and be successful is because you're talking about how you're going to, right? We always talk about that. Talk about your dreams and your goals, but like look at the other side of what you're trying to say on your social media. So turn your Facebook post into your brand, and that's you. So don't say it works. Don't say, certain things. Instead, say, what is it doing for me? And that's the kind of post you want to make. And like I have in my other YouTube videos, include you in your photos. Include your family. The more that you're in your photos, the more that people are going to know your brand, which is you. They're going to know you. That's how people know, like, and trust you, because you're showing up every day and because you know, you can't think you're going to add someone in Idaho and they're going to sign up with you and they don't see you. You know what I mean? So it's about blogging. Be the blogger and the vlogger of what's going on behind the scenes. So instead of talking about why this business is awesome and why they need it, show them how it is with your life. So like today I could show, instead of talking about, I'm looking to find 5 stay-at-home moms who want to stay at home with their kids. Instead of being that salesperson in the mall, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I woke up today and I'm just so thankful that I can be at home with my kids every day. Not having to go to work is such a blessing. I'm here, we're watching Elmo, and I can't even imagine spending a day without them, and a cute picture of me and my kids. That right there is why somebody is gonna wanna message you and say, hey, I wanna be a stay-at-home mom. Not because you say you're looking for somebody. When you're looking for somebody or you're looking for customers, I had somebody on my team the other day literally post a status that said, I'm looking for someone who wants to do a 90-day challenge. Let me know below. Who the hell is going to want to message you? Who's going to want to comment? Nobody. But if you showed how the 90-day challenge was working for you or your customer and just leaving that curiosity out there, well, what are you using? What are you, you know, what is your daily routine when you're talking about your daily routine, but don't give it to them. Like, let them want to message you to know more. You know what I mean? Kind of like how I made that post the other day, how I have $80,000 in savings over the last just few months, not even a year. Everyone commented and they're like, what do you do? I want to know. I had so many messages. Tell me about what you do. I didn't lay it all out there. That's what you want to do, is create that curiosity. And because of that, you're going to have more people liking your posts. And because you're building relationships with so many people and you're liking their stuff, they're reciprocating liking your stuff. So even though it's not about the business, they're still liking your stuff. And you're talking about the business without talking about it. And that's why you're going to get more likes. Because when people have that sense and feeling like, hey, she's making that post to get a customer, you're going to have less likes. But because they're liking it about what you're using, and it's never you're pushing, you're sharing, then people now have that open door where you can message them and say, hey girl, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in like a week. So I just saw you just like my photo about how I lost this weight and I'm finally fitting in my swimsuit. Would you, enter the third party, or anyone you know, be interested in losing 50 pounds or 20 pounds? I had some spots available and I thought of you first. That is key. And that's how you're going to get 80 plus, 90 plus likes on your photos. If you are not getting 100 plus likes on your photos, you have some work to do. And likes aren't everything, you guys, but they are everything when it comes to this business, because that means you are the person that people are watching, the person that people like. And what does business come from? Come from people that know, like, and trust us. So that is important. Okay. Okay. So instead of posting about how amazing your product is, talk about how amazing you feel. Remember that people buy the feelings. They buy I'm so stress-free today to be staying at home and not having to go to work. I'm so whatever, because I'm doing this today and not having to do this. I'm talking about how I'm not having to do this, or I'm not having to feel fat, or I'm not having to feel tired while they're feeling that way. And that's why they want to message me, is because I'm showing them I have something that they want. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so leave curiosity in your posts instead of just posting about everything else. So that's what's going to make people want to come to you. That's attraction marketing, okay? Is when people love you, you show them that you care about them, and now they give a damn about what you have to offer because they like you for what kind of stuff you're showing up and posting on your social media, okay? And that's where you got to work on your stories, you got to work on your lives, like all these kinds of things. And this is not something that you can fix overnight, you guys. This video is for self-awareness. This video is for you to acknowledge, hey, I should be doing this instead of what I've been trying to push that isn't working. And it's not overnight. I remember what Brittany said, let me try this today. I remember what Brittany said, let me implement this. And then once you get it going, it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And you guys, let me tell you, this is something I do in 1 month. And then the next month, it's like, push. And it's like, I'm the rabbit all of a sudden, and I'm running for my promotion. And then I know after I do that, I need to rebuild my network. And then I'm like, okay, let me work with everyone I built a relationship with last month and go message everybody. And now it's time to make them a customer. So, you got to find a balance between building a relationship and also signing customers and signing distributors every month. So as you're growing your network, find that balance, that system that works best for you, where you can also grow your potential list. So that's so important, you guys, is that you're just growing your list, and then pick one day a week where you can go follow up. If you have a better system that works for you, that's fine. I'm not telling you, hey, that's the way you got to do it. I'm just telling you what works best, what I recommend. But the point is that you just got to find a way to do these things, okay? So you need to emotionally invest in your people. Da, da, da. Gary also says your story needs to move people's spirits, and it needs to build their goodwill, so that way you finally ask them to buy from you and they feel like you've given them so much it would almost be rude to refuse. Okay? So ask yourself, like, am I asking people that feel like they know me so much that if they said no, they would feel bad? If not, you got some work to do. So here's the thing that I recommend doing. You can message 10 people a day and build a relationship. The ways I do that is I go look and I see who's commenting on my stuff, who's liking my stuff. Who haven't I talked to yet? Who haven't I talked to in the last 30 days? Let me go message them. Let me see who's viewing my stories. I want to message some people tonight while I'm watching TV with hubby. I'm going to go message as many people as I can for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer, and I'm going to reply to as many Instagram stories as possible. There you go. Or go to see who's liking your photos on Instagram instead of Facebook, and go message those people. And then, of course, as you do that, spend the rest of the night adding new people. And that's really just the cycle you got to have. And then maybe because you did that, spend all next day reaching out for host posts. You just got to know that we shouldn't be pushing these products in the business down people's throats when you haven't even gotten a chance to get to know them, okay? Drop a 1 in the comments if this is like, oh my God, good stuff. You haven't heard this in a while. You needed it. Okay, cool. So the next thing that I want to go over is just a kind of like a conversation. So some things that I have saved. So what is the single best way to grow your network marketing business organically without being shut out by everyone you know and love? It's a question that every network marketer has asked themselves. The stigma around the profession, mostly built after relentless hazard marketing, I don't even know that word, marketing on social media by people who don't know any better, has created a hostile atmosphere, making it increasingly difficult for people to choose and build a business this way to be successful. How can we stand out? How can we be different? Add to this recent changes on Facebook, which favor a return to social connection at the expenses of business. And you might wonder if it's even worth using the platform as a business tool. It absolutely is. And in fact, Facebook changes actually work in our favor, because the way we teach our members how to build business online is exactly the way Zuckerberg wants us to interact. So remember, ask yourself, is how I'm building my business online how I would treat social media before I was in a business? So that's really key too. So make connections by liking and commenting on people's posts, engaging with those that engage on your posts. But then when do you ask that question? So here we go, you guys. This is some awesome advice I got from another leader. The real magic happens when you take it offline and into Messenger. So important, okay? So how do you get to that point? How do you get them from liking your posts, and whether you should choose white wine or red wine, or which kitchen layout you should choose in your renovations? That's the stuff you're talking to them about, to now introducing your product or business. Option 1, you cannot do it. Don't use that post. But the real point here is you need to. I know it's uncomfortable and I know it's scary, but remember what I said, you guys. You need to go in expecting some people will say no, some people will, and some people won't. So for the people who won't, oh well, who cares? Who's next? Not everyone's going to be wanting to join your team right away, but that seed may be something that they remember. Like a mom right now, she reached out to me the other day. She told me no to this business for 2 years, but you know what? She's considering it now because she's about to be a single mom and leave her fiance or her husband. So that's huge, that people go through different patterns in their life, like different transition. When someone's in transition in their life, that's usually when they're like, hey, I need this. That's when they see the purpose behind this, and it's important for them to catch the vision then. And you know, that just comes with them watching you and them feeling like they need what you have. Okay, but make sure here, let me get into this. So hold on, let me see this. Once the conversation has been established, You can then direct it in one of two ways depending on the relationship. And then that's something you have to judge. So you have to judge if you should be direct or if you need to have a little small talk beforehand. So I always like to ask this question. This is something I personally do because I am all about bringing moms home to their kids. So I always ask, so what do you do for work, or are you a stay-at-home mom? That question always gets me, oh dude, I wish, or no, I wish I was, but I had to go to work, or oh, I would give anything to stay home with my kids. That's my opportunity to go in. Just like when I'm out at a store and I'm talking to the cashier. I have business cards. So what I want to do is get to a point where I can hand that business card to them. You want to get to that point where you can ask that question, but what can you do to get to that question? So you can even, like, if you're trying to approach the products, I'm trying to think because I don't really message for products. I do that. Like a lot of my customers that I sign up come to me. But if I was going to, you could say something like, oh my gosh, summer's here. Have you found any good bathing suits? I'm trying to find the best one that's going to fit my body type. I've been trying to lose so much weight lately. That is something where I may say, and they're like, oh girl, me too. And you should say, well, listen, this is what's working for me. Have you tried it? And just leave it open for them to come back at you and see what they have to say. That's like what Pam Sauter says is people are like, how do you blitz? How do you blitz? You know how Pam blitz? She says, oh, well, have you ever heard of It Works before? And then she lets them talk. And then she's like, oh, have you tried our rack? This is what it does. And hands her the card. And she says, let the card do the talking. So I think that was pretty cool too. Sometimes we overcomplicate it. We should really just simplify it. So what I do when I'm like out and about at a store, I will literally ask intentional questions. I'm asking them, so how's your day been? Do you love working here or what? And that right there, every single time, I always get a girl, I'm ready to get off the clock. Or, you know what, it's been a long day. Let me tell you, I'm ready to get home. Every single time. No one says, oh, I love my day. You're a cashier. Like you're at a job where you don't even look happy sometimes. So asking that question allows me to be like, girl, you don't have like a part-time, another job that you enjoy doing? And they're like, no. Or, how do you enjoy working here? And then sometimes I'll even get, girl, I wish it paid more, or something like that. But if I didn't ask that question, I wouldn't have gotten that response, which wouldn't allow me to go to the next part. So you can't just be like, hey, by the way, I want to know if you'd be good at if you'd be interested in what I do. Like you can, but if you're not at that point yet, and this is why you got to judge every single conversation different. If you're not at that point yet, then sometimes you need to kind of slide in. Like you gotta be smooth. And that's just gonna come from practice, failing, knowing that you suck right now and working on getting better. And that's just what I did. Like I would look at every conversation when someone didn't reply back and I'd be like, okay, Katie, what did I say wrong? Like, what should I do next? Or I'd go watch a video on how to improve. And that's my mindset, is just how can I get better? How can I get better? What can I do next to do it the right way? And like the first time I blitzed somebody, I called her fat basically without saying she was fat in person. And I was like, oh my God, I can't blitz for a week. But then I got over it and I knew I had to do it. And you know what? When I started sending messages out online, I started drinking wine because that's the only way that I could send a message and start asking people about the business. But I needed diamonds so bad that I was willing to do it. And now I can just walk up to anybody and tell them about what I do because I have so much confidence because this business has done so much for me. So that's what you got to know, is that this business is going to do a lot. So be confident. Okay. So let me say the next thing. So you have to kind of judge each situation and go in. So, if I'm reaching someone about the business, I love asking the stay-at-home mom thing. Or you can say, like, if you are working full-time, you just got to be creative. Okay. This is point blank, be creative. If you're not creative, it's not going to work. If you're not creative, learn how to be creative. That's my best advice. If you are a college student and you're working full time, you can literally focus on college students that you're talking to. Of course, that's what I mean. Pinpoint, be intentional with who you're adding. So that way, when you talk to people about things, it's now an easier conversation for you. Okay. I can't go add someone in college and be like, hey, did your kid spit up today? Like, they're like, no, but my dog took a poop on the walk. Like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? That's not my market, and that's okay. I have college kids come to me, like, but when I'm being intentional, really look at who you're talking to so that way this goes a lot smoother. So if you're a college kid and you're working full time, you'd be like, hey, I saw you're in college too, and I just wanted to ask you, do you have like a really good job right now that's helping you get through college? Um, just whatever. And then you can then be like, oh my gosh, well, you need to know what I'm doing because I've been able to pay off like $10,000 of my loans this last month. Or, if you're a dog mom, find something to talk about dogs to bring up the business. How has your business helped you in your dog situation? And then find a way to bring that up and ask a question. So that way you can do that. And sometimes my relationship, my first initial, like, hey, I'm going to message you is always like, I look at their page, I investigate their page, and I look at what can I message them about. And if I'm going to comment, instead of commenting, I message instead. And just always remember, hey girl, I was going to comment, but I thought I'd message you instead. And sometimes I'll even reach out to people if we've never talked before, and I'll be like, girl, I've been following you for a week and I haven't even messaged you yet. I know you probably think I'm crazy. I've been liking all your stuff. But I just want to drop in and say, hey, I saw we both have little girls the same age. 0 to 5 also. So ending with a question, once again, we know end with a question to keep the conversation going with our potentials. Do that with our hundreds list people and the people we're prospecting and networking, okay? And do that with just like, if you need to start out small, do it with 5 people right away tonight. I dare you to get off right now and go do that with 5 people. And you're going to feel so much better, okay? Just always remember, I'm not enrolling. Am I asking? Am I getting to know people? All right. So it's not just building relationships, it's doing this consistently. So that way in 2 weeks from now, you can bring up the business with everything I'm teaching you. Is this helping you, or what exactly do you guys want to know more about how to ask people? I want to see a question like, how do you want better training or just better like verbiage from me right now in this very moment to help you with how to like, do you feel more confident with like how to approach somebody and establish a connection, and then how to approach them about the business? You have to look at your conversation. And sometimes I will just be talking to somebody because Sylvia is so funny. I would be talking to somebody for like a week, or maybe I had like just a back and forth conversation. Like it's literally like, dude, do you have a golden doodle too? Heck yeah, girl, I saw your golden doodle. It's so cute. Oh, I love yours too. Like your photos of him are so cute. Oh, thank you. Ha ha ha. And then maybe I'll just go ahead and comment on their photo a few times and then reach out to them and be like, okay, so random. I'm sure you get asked all the time, but could you use an extra income right now? I could pick 2 people to do this with this month. And the first person I thought of was you, because I just freaking love your profile and think you'd be so good. Could you use an extra income? I always end with, could you use an extra income? That's how you sign people, okay? And if they don't reply back, just be like, okay, if it's not for you, no problem. Not trying to make it weird or something like that. Like I'm literally just like that. I'm just playing it off, and then I move on, and that's it. That's it. And I planted a seed with them, and then maybe I may message them about something else after that, and then move on. But you know what? They're watching me now, and it's just going to take that post, and it may not even be for them. But oh well, I have a friend. I have somebody that's liking my stuff, and because they're liking my stuff, I'm going to have more people now viewing my stuff, because the more likes you get means that more people, you're showing up on more people's timelines, okay? And that's your goal, is being exposed to more people, okay? So you can be direct, or you can do small talk. You could say, by the way, I have this thing I'm doing you might like. You might not. If you're open to having a look and earning some extra income, let me know. I'm not sure if you could use it right now or not. That was awesome. That was something I was like, I'm saving that. Or you can do something where you're like, hey, how's family? How's the job? Oh, I saw you're in love with your new life. Oh my gosh, you went to the Bahamas. It's so cool. And then follow up with them. Like there's so many different ways that you guys can bring this up. My point is, you don't want to invest too much into one person. You want to move quickly. You want to work with your numbers, but you also want to be just, doing the right thing. So when we were building our network marketing business, we used to ask questions until we had 3 reasons why someone might need or want what we are offering. So that's another option too, is wait until you figure out their reasons why they need this business. And then you can ask them the question and kind of be more direct. Like, by the way, I know this is so out of the blue, but I know you said you were really trying to stay at home with your kid last week. I just had a spot open up, I'm not sure if you're interested or not. but this could be for you. Do you want to take a look at it? So sometimes also when we approach people, like, do you want to take a look at it? Are you open to more info? It's less pressure. I feel like people turn away when we pressure them. So just asking people if they want info, that doesn't hurt anybody. Okay. So yeah, being indirect works, not as pushy. And when you have a system in place to bring it up and bring up your thing, you'll quickly realize that you're not bothering people and you're helping people. And I think that's huge with this whole thing is we got to make sure that we're not coming from a place of desperation. We're coming from a place of, I love what I do and I just love helping people. And if I'm doing it the right way, I'm going to trust in God, knowing that the right people are going to step forward. And anyone else that doesn't, oh, well, they're just not meant to be in my business right now. And that's how I go about it, is like any loss, anybody, I could have a diamond quit today and I'm like, oh, well, they're just not meant to be here, because I know the universe has a plan. Okay. And I know that whatever bad thing happens to me is setting me up for the plan for success that he has in store for me. So I just trust and know that every little thing that's happening is happening for the better good down the road. Okay. Yeah. Destination, not desperation. I like that, Elizabeth. So, okay. So that's basically it, you guys. Okay. I'm going to open it up for questions. I feel like I really went over everything. Yes, you have to know your audience. Exactly. You have to know who you're adding. And once you do that and you post those 3 things that we talked about, that is when people are going to start paying attention. And what I love to do, you guys, is you can go and literally, this is a little secret and you're lucky you're getting this right now. I will go to Pinterest and I will learn like tips. Just type in cooking tips, or you can look in hashtag mom quotes or funny dog things, and like look at pictures that are like having quotes on them or other bloggers' content, and I recreate that. So I know that maybe that's something you already do. But that's just my little secret, is I'll go and I'll be like hashtag entrepreneur quotes, and I'll go find that and I'll just like make a post out of it, or like use that for those 3 things that you have about you, and go find that stuff and recreate stuff. So save posts ahead of time, so that way you don't have to sit there and be like, oh my God, it's my kid's birthday today and I have to go grocery shopping and I don't have time to do this. And oh my God, tomorrow I have a college class and I have to go see my mom. I don't have time to post because I don't have time to sit there and look that stuff up. We'll pick one day a month and save like 20 stuff, so you're good for the month. You know what I mean? So think ahead and plan ahead and really work on these things, you guys, and it's going to help you out so much. So let's recap. Networking is posting, adding, following up, or that's not right. Hold on. Let me get my notes out. It's like late. Okay. So growing your network is understanding that everyone's going to sign up or give a crap about what you have to offer. That's okay. You can still use them to grow your business because they're liking your stuff. Okay. That's going to give you more views on other people that you haven't even talked to yet. You can't talk to everyone you add right away. You know, there's some people that you're going to skip. How do we grow our network? Add, comment, like, message, interact, make people know you, go the extra mile and message. If you message 5 people a day, getting to know them over the last week, you'd have probably 20 more likes on your photo right now. I'm just saying. Adding, important, add the people that you want, focus in on where you're adding. It's so cool when you focus in on where you want to be and then you start signing people from there. It's the best feeling in the world. Make sure that you're focusing on building genuine relationships, not being afraid to do it, knowing that you're going to mess up and knowing that you're going to improve. So move forward. And then messaging the questions to be intentional, to bring up the business, making your hundreds list every month, and just really zoning in on those people that you need on your team. And you know, that's really important too, being consistent with people. And then at the end of the month, I always like to ask 20 people a day to be a product model or to do host. And you know what, you guys, that hundreds list that you're going to do, actually, they're probably the people to most likely host a post for you. So that's big. And instead of posting about the business, talk about what the business is doing for you. Okay. And it's about using Facebook posts to grow your brand and not push the business. Do more behind the scenes, pushing the business in your messaging versus broadcasting it on your page, because people can smell when you're falling down in your business. They can sense that, and that's when they don't want to help. Okay, they want to help people that are so genuine, that are so happy, that are at a point where they're just like radiating just the best version of, you know what I mean? And then your story needs to move people's spirits and build their goodwill. So if you feel like people don't know your story, it's because you're not sharing it enough. You're not sharing your goals. Every time when I was going Presidential Diamond, I shared that every single day. I shared how much it meant to me, what it was going to do for my family. I just talked about my kids. I made people want to help me. And that's what the difference is between that and being desperate and just putting a status up about a photo and doing it again 5 more times. Like during the last final hours of your promotion, like the last week, I understand you're pushing, so you may be posting it a little more, but we don't want to do that to overall run our business. And that's the difference. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and open this up for questions, because I'm sure you have a lot. And I'm just going to do this for like 5 minutes and then we'll hop off. And I want all of you guys to go, and I want you to go message 5 new people tonight and build a relationship with them. And if you're a rock star, obviously you'll do more. So, okay, go ahead and ask questions. If I didn't answer your question earlier, I'm sorry, just go ahead and ask it again. If you need to be confident to talk to people, just be like, everything on my dream board won't happen unless I do it. So am I going to do it? I mean, literally, that's what I did when I was going diamond. If I was like, if I don't do this, I'm not going diamond. Point blank, period. That's why we say you got to step out and do those things that you haven't done yet to see that success that you want. Like if you keep doing the same thing that you've been doing, it's going to give you the same thing. And I know it's scary, but at the end of the day, my mentality is like, if you don't like me, then screw you. Oh, well, I don't need you anyway. Build that within you. And I have that just because I've been screwed over so many times, and I've been through a lot with people in the past, that now I have so much self-awareness, like of who I am, that like nobody can faze me. So I know like the right people are going to appreciate me. The right people are going to support me, even when they tell me no. And now I'm at a point where I ask people and I get so many no's, but my no's, you guys, are, I just love following you, but I'm just not interested. I'm so sorry. Before it used to be, nope, I'm not interested. No, but now because I'm doing these extra things, people are being nicer. And then I turn that into a host of posts. So really just trust the process and trust that the right people are going to be there. Okay. Please say this is recorded. Yes, it's totally recorded. Okay. So if nobody has any questions, what was your aha moment from tonight? I want to see. We have 49 people still left. So let me know your aha moment. Talking about me and just not the business. Oh yeah. And y'all, I want to encourage you tonight to let this soak it in like a sponge. So when you sign your next 10 people, you can go like this and run, like squeeze your sponge and pour all this water knowledge, like pretend like what I taught you is water, into the next sponge. This is not just for you. This is for you to start practicing. And what happens when you start practicing, you can start teaching, okay? So that's really important too. And that's why if I didn't learn this stuff, you wouldn't have learned it. So if I didn't learn it, then I would still probably be at presidential level, same volume next month. So isn't that crazy when we start like looking at those real things that we're doing? Like, are we doing the things we want our team to do? That's the magic. Okay. So proud of you guys for being on, really. 2 for them, 1 for you. Yes. Relating to people, opening our eyes on where and how to grow your market. I need a new perspective on where to look. Perfect. Networking instead of focusing on pushing the products. Definitely an eye opener. Yeah, because that's what's going to get us the products. It's just not instantaneous. And that's where we really have to tell our new people, just trust it. It worked for me. So you master it, tell them it worked for you, so that way they can believe it just a little bit more because they see how well it worked for you. Breaking down the task day by day instead of feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, because if you try to do everything all at once, you never get anything done. So because you're not getting anything done, let that be like, oh crap, I got to figure this out and figure out a system that works for me. The way I do something is different than the way Caitlin does something. It's just like, it's because we have our own operating systems. You know what I mean? And nothing is wrong. It's only wrong if you're not enrolling. Okay. This team should be enrolling 3 DTs minimum a month and 5 DTs or 5 LCs a week. Like, I'm just being completely honest with you. That's what you need to do if you want to get to Ruby. If you're not doing that, your team's not even doing anything. You know what I mean? And that's why we're having a huge problem, okay? And this whole thing is going to help so much, I promise. Having fun building relationships. Yes. Stop expecting everything out of every relationship too. It's not always, hey, I'm going to make this person my customer. Yeah, that's the goal, but don't expect that. You know what I mean? When you take that expectation off, you're more genuine and you're presenting a different energy to them that's going to make them want to actually like talk to you more, you know? Following through places. Tell me exactly how my Instagram can be eye-opening. Sharing your story, being you, taking really good photos, using presets, and just being different. That's my best advice. Stand out. Rise up as a level you want to attract like the person that you want to attract on social media, like which may be a kick-ass rock star, like start showing up as that person. So when I start like acting like I've hit an ambassador already, I feel like I'm going to start enrolling better people because I take myself more seriously. I present myself more seriously. So those better quality people want to sign with better quality distributors. So it's kind of like the same thing, you know? You need business now and later. I'm doing that. Yes. Building relationships, breaking up daily tasks, sharing my story, stepping out of my comfort zone tomorrow. Yes. Okay. So I'm so glad this helped you guys so much. I'm so excited that you guys are going to start using this info. And really that's all that's about. Like, and you know, my name, Not the Normal Mom, came from just me kind of discovering my purpose behind this. Like, I'm not the normal mom like everybody else. And like, I feel like I want people to know that because I want them to discover like why I'm not the normal mom. And it's because I found this business, right? And so your brand can be your name. It can also be maybe something that you come up with. Let it be unique if that's what you're going to do. But make sure everything that you're sharing stems back to people remembering who you're going to be when you walk out the room. Like, your brand and what you show up as is what people are going to remember. So it's not going to be perfect overnight. Like, I'm definitely not where I want to be as far as my brand just yet, but I'm getting better every day. Okay. So exactly. Act as if you're already the leader rank you are going for, which means like you have to start implementing those tools and like the task that you would do as that leader right away before you're even at that level yet. So that's really important. But anyway, this was really long. I told Michael it'd be like 40 minutes, but never. But I'm going to get this up on my YouTube, and just really remember at the end of the day, people care about you when you care about them, and you're showing them why they should care. It's because of you, because of your story, because of your goals, because they see something in you. Okay. They're cheering you on. So give them something to cheer for, and, just trust this method so much, and make sure you're still talking about the business, still talking about the products, but talking about what it's doing for you. And if that doesn't make sense, that's why you should be following people. You should be observing the people that are kicking butt and really, start recreating your own outlines of what they're saying. And there shouldn't be a script, you guys. There's no script. I'm starting to hate that word the more I'm trying to learn more content. What there should be is an outline, because if we're all sending the same thing, we're not being us. And that's the point of this, is to be us while we're getting to know people. So if someone gives you a script, my advice is, how would you say it? You know what I mean? Like use it as an outline. And as long as you're just having a conversation, like you're standing in front of the person, that's my best advice. Act as if you're standing in front of the person. That's when you'll know what to say. Okay. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome night. I'm going to stop the